5 years ago, today, that is on 24th April 2015, Avengers Age of Ultron was released in India to an almost positive acclaim by the film critics. It got a decent enough 75% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but it quickly went on to become one of the most divisive films in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Many people, including hardcore Marvel and MCU fans, berated this movie for its incoherent plot, lacklustrous villain, and many more problems. It received big bucks in the box office, getting over $1 billion, but the fans were seemingly unhappy for a number of different reasons. Now in 2020, however, we can understand, or rather we can see why certain decisions and plot points were added in this particular movie. So I think today being the 5-year anniversary of Avengers Age of Ultron, I think this is a good opportunity to take a look back at this movie and judge it for what it was. So my name is Soham and welcome to Wonder Why I See, and today we are revisiting Avengers Age of Ultron in 2020. Now in no way am I saying that this movie doesn't have its faults. That's far from the truth. Age of Ultron has many critical faults and that has been pointed out on the internet numerous times before. But at the same time, I feel that this movie is a little too harshly judged and it doesn't deserve the title of the worst movie of the MCU. That title I still believe is held by Thor: The Dark World. Anyway, here I will examine both the good aspects as well as the bad aspects of this movie, where the movie delivers and where the movie failed. And in order to not make this video boring, I will divide it into two separate parts. Part 1 is where I will talk about the good aspects, and part 2, which will come next week, where I'll talk about the bad aspects overall. So subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as I upload that video. Okay, so I feel that this particular movie has three major advantages or strengths. Firstly, this is a movie based on the team. Secondly, as a result of the mature team, the fights are a lot better. And thirdly, this movie portrays the emotional and human side of the Avengers. Okay, so first let's talk about the team. I feel that barring Endgame, Avengers Age of Ultron is one of the best Avengers, or rather comic book based movie, for a lot of different reasons. Firstly, this movie has a plot for everyone. None of the members feel out of the movie and everyone is involved in the plot and the overarching story. Yes, certainly at times, some characters can get more screen time and more emphasis, but that's quite natural. It can happen in a team-based superhero movie, but here in Age of Ultron, everyone feels like a part of something bigger than themselves. Also, a major part or major aspect of this movie for me is the maturity. These people have been doing this for a long time now. They are a part of something bigger than just themselves, and this is evident from the very first shot. Moreover, this is practically the only Avengers movie that is actually about the Avengers just doing their job. The story feels like it has been taken out of some comic book. Yes, there are stakes involved here, and yes, there are lives at threat here. But this isn't just another origin story like their first team up, or this is not a universe-ending Thanos level shenanigan. This is not their rise, this is not their fall or their eventual revival. This is just a day in the superhero life with teasers for much bigger events that they couldn't even imagine at that time. I know that this was not handled that well in the movie, but that's a topic of discussion for the next video. I mean, sure, this movie has its issues, but it's just so much fun. Every fight feels well choreographed and important, especially the first fight and how we begin the movie. This definitely feels like a part of something bigger, a bigger universe, and there is no need for unnecessary reintroduction to the characters. And like I said before, the overall team is quite mature here. These people know their strengths and weaknesses, and thus right from the very first fight, we get small character moments which were really awesome in my opinion. From the Captain and Thor shield Mjolnir combo to Natasha calming down Banner, everything felt like an actual working team. And this plays an even bigger role when Wanda breaks the team from within by playing mind games with their fears. Also, let's talk about the fights that this team-up movie had. In my opinion, this movie has some of the best fights in the entire MCU. The opening scene is simply badass, as it opens with a battle, once again showing the linear progression of time in this universe because this is a full-fledged team here. The action, the chemistry and the fun banter will always be really memorable for me, now that I know that this team has officially ended. I mean, I can never really forget the language scene between Tony and Captain and its associated hypocrisy. And in the words of Cinema Vince, That crazy group shot of all the Avengers jumping is always a win in my books. Good job there, Joss Whedon. And in a similar fashion, I think one of the best and most satisfying moments in the movie is when Banner is brainwashed. Seeing the raging Hulk tear through the African city was a level in its own, portraying how powerful the Hulk really is. I mean, the clash between an enraged Hulk and Hulkbuster Tony was simply put fabulous. A dream come true for every comic book fan. And the direct aftermath of this particular fight is what makes this movie even better, at least for me. Now once again, for many fans, this particular scene is really divisive, but for me, this was really good from the movie. And I'm obviously talking about the Hawkeye's family scene. Now I understand if you are not a fan of this particular scene because it really comes out of nowhere. And yes, even I agree that this could have been done or rather handled in a much better way. But still, what we get in the movie is not that bad, barring one particular scene which I will talk about in detail in the second part of the video. Well, now that the team has been decimated and divided from within after Scarlet Witch's mind manipulation, so now what would the team do next? These superheroes and larger-than-life characters have been broken both mentally and physically, so they need some time to lay low. That's when Hawkeye decides to take the entire team to his family ranch and home. I love this scene. I really genuinely love this scene. Not only does it provide a backstory and emotional support for the character of Hawkeye, but it also gives simple nods to their lives before the Avengers. Like the simple introductions between Natasha and his wife and children was really adorable. Moreover, it also gives these heroes a sense of humanity and emotional identity which was not that evident everywhere. I'm not saying that it's executed perfectly or something, but this somber moment was quite touching. Also, I really wish this was handled a bit better, especially the words used here. But I think the somber moment of interaction between Bruce Banner and Natasha was really good. I mean, it was not a romantic gold, but it was certainly heartwarming for me to see two broken people accepting themselves and lamenting at the fact that even if they wanted, they could never be able to get together. And I say this once again, please do not misunderstand me. I do believe that the words used here by Natasha are really bad and not the purpose that was intended for. Calling herself a monster because she's not capable of bearing children is a wrong fallacy. But because the words are used so vaguely here that people tend to relate to this in a wrong way. I, on the other hand, feel that this scene was intended for something totally different. But alas, because of the bad choice of dialogue, this moment was not done justice. Banner was mentally disturbed after Scarlet Witch's mind manipulation and he is totally broken from inside out. And after seeing Barton's family, all this just makes him even more miserable. Because he knows and realizes this fact that he can never have this normal life again because of his Hulk condition. And keep in mind that at this point in the MCU continuity, Hulk and Banner are two separate entities that hate each other. So having a normal life, having wife, having children is totally out of the picture for him. And this breaks this man emotionally. I think this was a very beautiful scene because it shows that even the strongest of men can have insecurities in their life. And that's when Natasha comes into the play. Obviously she likes Banner, but she doesn't exactly love him yet. But still, she's Banner's teammate and a good friend as well. That's when she says something really personal to Bruce. To give some mental solace to Banner, she reveals her own secrets and sorrows of life. She says that she was sterilized in the Red Room. The final graduation ceremony is a surgery to remove her reproductive organs, as this would make her more effective in her job of an assassin. It would remove the hassles of menstrual cycle and pregnancy. This would have been a really mature and effective scene had the dialogues not messed it up. The basic message of this scene was not entirely too romantic or something. Rather, I feel that it was meant to symbolize the fact that these are two broken people because of their past, and their lives are crumbling now because of their ongoing problems in relation to Ultron. We get more humanizing scenes between Hawkeye and his wife, which provide a much needed grounded reality to this team. They are also at the end of the day vulnerable and not immune to enemy attacks. Barring the Natasha dialogue, everything that happens in the Hawkeye household is just great for me. From the appearance of Nick Fury to Tony and Steve's banter, everything was just great overall. Also, this movie perfectly humanizes the character of Tony Stark, at least for me. His moral ambiguity, his dilemma, and his conflicts are a major aspect of this movie. Coming out of the events from Iron Man 3, Tony is really in a moral dilemma when he creates Ultron. His goal is absolutely brilliant and justifiable too. He basically wants to build a suit of armor around the world so that he himself doesn't need to protect the life once again. This is not his ego or his arrogance. This is rather his humanity, his fear, and in a way his weakness that is wanting him to take such a drastic step. Making a world safe enough that doesn't really need any more superheroes. This is a moral dilemma that has been raised in comic books before, and this is an issue that is still being released in many modern pop culture stuff. A great example in my opinion can be the character of Hawks from My Hero Academia, who wants to make the world so safe that heroes have plenty of free time at hand. This is something Tony wants too. He doesn't want any more damages to be done, and that's why he creates the Legion and Ultron in the process too. And in my honest opinion, I think Avengers Age of Ultron had one of the best standalone plot and storyline out of all the MCU movies. But sadly, the execution is not top notch and it failed to deliver in some of the major aspects. I mean, sure, let's get this straight. I really don't think that a spectacle like Infinity War and Endgame can be recaptured once again. But Avengers Age of Ultron failed to capture some of the magic from the original movies too. I will definitely talk about the failures and problems of this movie in the second part of the video. But in the meantime, I still want to say that this movie is not an absolute garbage or failure, and it delivers in some major aspects, in an albeit better manner than the first movie too, especially in regards to the suits and the fights. The entire Sokovia battle is brilliantly paced and executed. The Hulk vs Hulkbuster fight was just fabulous, and the train stopping scene was intense and tension filled. And obviously, the introductory battle was simply nostalgic. The mature team, the small gags, the small team-ups, and the final set piece where the camera almost freezes at them is nothing short of spectacular. I mean, yeah, the final battle falls into the same cookie-cutter formula of action set pieces, but I would be lying like a half-baked elitist if I said that I didn't enjoy this final battle. I know it's silly, and I know it's kinda cliche to see a Dragon Ball-like beam battle with a final boss, but that's the charm of a cinematic universe. That's the joy of seeing your favorite comic book superheroes on screen. And speaking of all this, let's talk about the suits in the movie, because they're absolutely gorgeous. I genuinely feel that at least for the majority of the team, the suits used in Age of Ultron are the best. Tony looks really great here, but Captain has the overall best suit. So all in all, this movie had some really great aspects and some really great plot points. The only visible problem was its lacklustrous execution. I mean, if the narrative was more tighter, with better execution of the villain, and less focus on setting up future events, then this movie would have been so much greater. And it's such a shame honestly, but at the end of the day, I still quite enjoy this movie as a light-hearted time pass. So for me, this movie has set pieces of extremely fun portion, but otherwise this is a very normal sort of a movie. But it genuinely doesn't deserve so much hatred. Moreover, a major reason why this movie is disliked so much is for its future setups. I mean, yeah, a setup in a movie based in a cinematic universe always teases and sets up future events for stuff that are about to happen. This is not something new, and now that I'm rewatching this movie in 2020, I can understand why a lot of the decisions were taken in this particular movie. But there are some really great teases in this particular movie as well, like the slow fallout between Captain and Tony, which combined with everything that happens in Sokovia, becomes a big plot point for Civil War. There are many more callbacks from Infinity War and Endgame to Age of Ultron that genuinely improves the viewing experience. A great one being wrapping the world in a suit of armor. The problem with setups, however, start to rise with the scene of Thor and the Infinity Stones and Hulk randomly leaving the planet. These moments feel redundant and quite forced, basically symbolizing upcoming movies without adding substantially to the ongoing plot. Either way, I'll talk about this in detail in the second part of the video, so stay tuned for that. Thus summing up, I quite enjoy this movie irrespective of its flaws. And now that I've watched Avengers Endgame, I can definitely say that my personal favorite callback in the entire MCU is definitely when Captain America tries to lift Thor's Mjolnir in Age of Ultron. That was such a powerful scene, and it speculates everything that we know about this character. And well, he was worthy all along, which is proven in Avengers Endgame in one of the best and most magnificent fashion ever. Anyway, so I will end part 1 of this video here. Stay tuned for part 2, which will come next week. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as I upload that video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Mention your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up, that will really help the channel. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family members. Also, can we please reach 3000 subscribers before the end of April 2020? That would be super cool. Anyway, that's it for today. This is WonderWyZ and I'll see you soon in the next video.